Celtic are being linked to a whole host of players this summer, and it now seems our targets are being scouted by other huge European clubs. We will discuss this in today's video, whilst going over all the latest Celtic news from the last 24 hours. But first, make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel for more Celtic content. Celtic are not expected to make a move for Evan Ferguson after Brighton put a huge £28 million price tag on the striker. The Irish forward had been mentioned as a possible target for the Hoops this summer, but that always seemed unlikely. Now, with this price being reported, it's clear the deal is far out of Celtic's range. Spanish outlet Relevo say Brighton have offered Ferguson to Italian clubs Roma and Atalanta as they try to sell him before the new season. Other English clubs like Everton and Nottingham Forest are also said to be interested. Ferguson, 20, was tipped to become a top Premier League striker after a strong season with Brighton in 2022 and 2023. But since then, things haven't gone to plan. He's had injury problems and struggled to score goals. He was sent on loan to West Ham in January, but didn't manage to score there either. With his form dipping, Brighton still seem keen to cash in, but their valuation will likely scare off a number of clubs, including Celtic. The Hoops have never spent close to that amount on one player, with their record signings sitting around 11 million. Celtic have already brought in Callum Osmond to the squad, meaning they are already strengthening their attack. Spending over 25 million on one player simply isn't how the club operates, even if Ferguson was open to a move to Scotland. The money involved means Celtic will be watching this one from the sidelines. The striker's future now looks set to lie elsewhere, likely in the Premier League or Serie A, where clubs can meet Brighton's asking price. Now for the main story, Celtic are reportedly keeping close tabs on Ecuadorian winger Nilson Angulo as they look to bolster their attacking options ahead of the new campaign. The 22-year-old, currently with Belgian side Anderlecht, has caught the eye with his performances in the Jupiler Pro League, drawing interest from several clubs across Europe. Reports from South America suggest that Celtic are among the sides keen on the young wide man, alongside Villarreal, Sevilla, and an unnamed Serie A club. According to Bowler VIP, discussions are already moving between Anderlecht and the Parkhead side, with a deal in the region of £3 million, potentially enough to bring Angulo to Glasgow. While no formal agreement has been reached, talks are said to be progressing as Celtic explore their options. Angulo made the switch to Anderlecht from LDU Quito in 2022 and has gone on to make nearly 50 league appearances for the Belgians. Though not prolific in front of goal, his speed, direct running and ability to play across the front line have made him a standout for both club and country, having already featured for Ecuador at senior level. With Brendan Rodgers aiming to strengthen his squad in key areas this summer, Angulo represents a potential long-term investment with room to develop. The growing interest from La Liga and Serie A could push Celtic to act quickly if they want to land the winger before the season gets underway. In other news, Luke McCowan has made it clear he has one goal on his mind this season, nailing down a regular starting place for Celtic. The midfielder arrived on deadline day last summer and is now entering his second campaign at the club, determined to make his mark. After a promising debut season, McCowan knows consistent minutes at the Hoops could open the door to international recognition. With Scotland preparing for World Cup qualifiers in the coming months and the finals looming next summer, the opportunity is there for those hitting form. Although not currently involved in Steve Clarke's plans, the 27-year-old remains hopeful that a strong showing in the Hoops will lead to a maiden senior call-up. He spoke about his desire to represent his country, while stressing that Celtic remains his main focus. He had this to say: "If it comes along, I'd be absolutely honoured to go and put that top on and represent my country. Just now, it's not happening. But I'm sure if I was to play well enough in the times ahead, I'm sure it'll hopefully come along. I know exactly. Listen, it's not something that I'm totally focused on. I'm focused on Celtic, but if that was to come along, I'd be absolutely delighted. You would always like to think that. I have something to offer at Celtic, so why can't I do it with Scotland? I'm sure at some point, if I was to keep the level I have been doing here, it'll come along, and if it does, then I'll come out with open arms and be delighted with it." McCowan's attitude reflects a wider hunger within the Celtic squad as Brendan Rodgers builds a group of players aiming to prove themselves on multiple fronts. While the midfielder remains grounded, his quiet confidence suggests he feels capable of stepping up to international level. His ability to make an impact in the final third, along with his work rate, has already caught the eye in Glasgow. A strong start to the season could not only cement his place in the starting 11, but also boost his chances of a Scotland call-up. With Celtic competing on four fronts this term, rotation is inevitable, and McCowan will be looking to make the most of every opportunity. Should he maintain his form, a phone call from Steve Clarke might not be far away. For now, McCowan remains focused on contributing to Celtic's success, but there's no doubt the lure of a Scotland cap is driving him on. Lastly, Celtic are reportedly eyeing Rapid Vienna winger Isak Janson as a potential replacement for Nicholas Kuhn, who is set to join Como in a £16.5 million move. Brendan Rodgers will be keen to reinvest the funds from Kuhn's departure to strengthen the squad ahead of the new season. Janson, 23, has impressed since joining Rapid Vienna, contributing 9 goals and 6 assists last season. His performances have attracted interest from several European clubs, including Lazio, Fiorentina, and Paris FC. Rapid Vienna's sporting director, Marcus Katzer, revealed that the club identified Janson as a direct replacement for Kuhn, focusing on his ability to beat opponents one-on-one. Janson's contract with Rapid Vienna runs until 2028, and the club is reportedly seeking a significant fee for the winger, who they signed from FC Cartagena for around £200,000. With Jota sidelined until 2026 due to injury, Celtic are in need of reinforcements on the wings. Rodgers emphasised the importance of bringing in the right players to maintain the team's competitiveness. Katzer said, "We needed a replacement for Nicholas Kuhn after he signed for Celtic. We asked our manager what type of player he was looking for in particular, and he told us he wanted someone who could beat a man, one-on-one. We did a wide data search across our target markets, and in terms of dribbling and taking on players, Janson appeared in the top 3. We looked at a lot of his videos and he was exactly what we wanted. Usually we would watch a player live, but with the timescale and the closing of the transfer window, we had no time and had to trust the data. The risk was relatively low because we also know that in 8 to 9 out of 10 cases, the impressions from video scouting are confirmed during live scouting. And with Janson, it wasn't a risk at all because we first agreed on a free loan first and then a small transfer fee of $200,000. 1 week after we exercised the purchase option in the season, we had an offer of more than £1 million on the table. He will clearly be transferred for many times what we paid for him. He has been an amazing success for us, Katzer concluded. Rodgers has made it clear this summer that player sales must lead to meaningful reinvestment. While Kuhn's exit brings a significant windfall, the Irishman will be determined to see it spent wisely, especially with Champions League qualifiers on the horizon. Janson fits the mould of what Celtic have done well in recent years: identify value early and allow talent to flourish in Glasgow. However, with other clubs circling, the Hoops may have to move quickly and pay a premium to land the winger. The club's recruitment staff will be well aware of the pitfalls of waiting too long in the window. If Janson is indeed the man they want, they'll need to show clear intent, both in negotiations and in the valuation they're prepared to meet. Celtic's previous success stories out of the Austrian Bundesliga should give confidence in the market, and Janson may be next in line if a deal can be struck before interest ramps up further. What are your thoughts on these? Let us know down in the comment section below. Make sure you've liked this video and subscribe to the channel for more Celtic content.